everybody, Sonia Rollins here for Backtalk. I am here with Mike Torrielli of Cambridge Savings Bank. Mike, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me, Sonia.
Yeah, we're excited to have you because, if there's one thing that's a staple in Burlington, it's Cambridge Savings Bank. So tell us what you do for the bank, first of all.
Yeah, so I am a regional manager for Cambridge Savings Bank. I oversee the 2 locations that are here in Burlington. And then I also oversee locations in Bedford, Lexington, and Concord, and Melrose as well.
You're a busy guy.
Very busy, yes.
So, I started by saying it's a staple, and it really is true. I mean, I have been in Burlington for quite some time, right? And Cambridge Savings Bank has always been around. How long has it been in the community?
So we've been in the community over 25 years. Our first branch on Cambridge Street was opened in 1995.
Yes.
And then we loved it so much here that we opened up a second branch about 8 years ago at 3rd Ave.
Right, and you moved recently, the one on Cambridge Street, up a little bit further, right?
We did, yeah. We're up at Simmons Park now, and it's a little quiet up there still, but we love the location, and the new branch layout is beautiful. So certainly encourage people to come up and check it out.
Yeah, we have so many things to talk about today. But one of the things I really want to talk about is, the whole idea of banking as far as locations. We always joke, I'm sure you hear it, Mike, people say, banks and more locations, oh, here come more banks, and with all that's going on, and we'll talk digital later, but, talk about the power of having a location in town and community service and how Cambridge Savings Bank has really kind of engulfed that.
Sure. So that's a great question. I think that it is a misnomer that people don't want to bank in person. Aside from COVID,
Yes.
Over the years, experts thought that the branch network was going away and that people didn't want branches anymore. But that's just not true. Our customers do want to bank in person and have the option to bank in person when possible. So.
Right.
For Cambridge Savings Bank, our focus has always been on our communities and our customers. And in fact, last year during the pandemic, we actually increased our charitable giving by over $1.4 million. So,
wow.
In addition, we waived over $1 million in fees. When the pandemic hit, we actually hit pause on our account fees and anything else like that. And we saved people over $1 million.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I will say, I'll go on record as saying I'm one of those people who, A, goes to Cambridge Savings Bank, but actually physically goes into the branch. So
thank you for your business.
Absolutely. But, my kids tease me. I think I told you this when I was talking to you before. My kids tease me about it a little bit because they're like, you can go online. And there's something really special about going in and seeing a teller and talking about that. So you have people in both locations at this point, of course. But your talk of community service, and the bank has supported a lot of different things, including the chamber, of course, and we thank you for that. Oh, I should also say congratulations because you're now a new board member for the chamber.
Thank you. Yes, very happy about that.
Yeah, so, talk about a little bit the importance. I know you said, of course, about helping your people, but the importance of community tie-in for Cambridge Savings Bank, or, how the bank gives back, where... why is that so vital to you? Is that the right way to ask the question? But
yeah, so our communities are very important to us. We really want to be a good neighbor. We understand that we certainly do have a duty to give back to our neighborhoods, and as I mentioned before, we did increase our charitable giving last year, but really we do a lot of volunteering as well. So one really nice thing about the bank is that they allow paid volunteer days. So not only do they encourage us to volunteer, but they'll actually pay for us to volunteer.
Which is great.
Which is amazing.
It speaks to the corporate climate of that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And personally, one of my favorite volunteer events here in Burlington was calling the bingo games at the Council on Aging. So I hope to be able to be back doing that sometime soon.
I hope so too, because with the restrictions being lifted, I think the seniors are ready.
Yeah.
I think we're ready for a bingo game, I should say, right?
Yes,
exactly.
for sure.
All right, and let's talk about the services the bank actually has. I mean, I don't know if everybody realizes, but you are a full service bank. So obviously business, personal, mortgages,
Yeah, we are full service. We are a community bank, but we have the ability to provide our customers with any of the services that they need, including, as you mentioned, mortgages, commercial lending, of course, all the basic branch banking, and all the digital products as well that the quote unquote big banks offer. So it's a really nice I think, combination of being a small bank where we know our customers and and we are very active in our communities, but still having the ability to provide the services and the products that our customers need without them having to go to a big bank.
Right. And we're gonna, after the break, talk about PPPs and COVID and all that, but let's touch upon it a little bit as a teaser, I'll say, for people, right?
Sure.
Everybody got hit hard during COVID. That was a tough climate. And what was the one biggest challenge when you realized it was all, or when the bank realized, this is how it was going down? What was the challenge for you guys, or how did you see that as an altering issue for you coming in?
Really, I mean, the biggest challenge was first of all the unknown, right? When the SBA was trying to get the website set up, and as everyone knows, it crashed because of the sheer volume. But I think the biggest challenge for us was figuring out how to process over 2,000 loan applications. Again, being a smaller bank, and we're not used to that level of volume.
Right.
But we rallied around, and I mean, there were some late nights. But again, it was important for us to be there and support our customers, and we knew how vital it was for them to get the PPP money, and they were counting on us. And very, very proud to say that we made it happen, and probably one of the highlights of my career, although it was a difficult time. But looking back, it was certainly one of the highlights to be able to make the call to a business that was very, very nervous and say, guess what, the money's coming.
Right. And that is, I mean, honestly, that was like a breath of fresh air when I'm sure it was great for you to make those calls, but the businesses on the other end hearing that, because there was an element of unknown.
Of course.
And you did it for companies of all different sizes, Cambridge Savings Bank.
We did.
In conjunction with the SBA, which I think sometimes people don't understand, who weren't involved in making that application process. I mean, it was like a multiple step process to be able to get that done.
It was,
yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's not really over yet, per se, right? Because they're still closing out applications, doing things like that.
Yeah, there's still forgiveness that's going on, kind of moving into the second phase of things. But for the most part, the applications did cease about mid-May.
Right. Okay, so we're going to come back and talk about all of that. But first, we're also going to talk about Landana's. Have you been to Landana's?
I have many times.
Yeah.
I enjoy it very much.
And, it's interesting because people had said Landana's, there was rumor that they were closing. They are not closing. They are alive and well. Their concept of switching over to something different is on hold for now until the unforeseen future, I guess.
Sure.
Right now, they're holding strong as Landana's. The community loves it. And Tad and I got to go visit and see the chef there. So we'll be right back after a foodie segment with Landana's. Hi everybody, Sonia Rollins here for Backtalks Foodie segment. We are at an old favorite for Burlington, Landana's, and we're happy to report that Landana's is here and well and open and looking forward to our post-COVID days. There's been a little bit of talk about whether Landana's is still in business, and they are. They're looking forward to serving the community as they always have. And for the time being and for a long time to come, we're going to be at Landana's for some time. We are excited to show you Chef Eddie and our new general manager, Pete Baker, who are going to talk about a lot of different things that are both known to us for those of us who've been here for a while and new things to come. Join me inside. I have to say, Landana's is a staple in Burlington. It has been here for some time, and there's been a lot of hubbub around Landana's and the change that could be forthcoming, and I think there's a good message to tell for those of us who love Landana's. What is that?
First and foremost, we are going to be Landana until we hear otherwise, definitely.
It's very interesting because obviously the group has other restaurants and the discussion was moo, but Landana's is staying on, and I think people got confused because there was some discussion at the board level about a renovation at Landana's and things like that.
We had discussed a renovation, and more so we were looking at doing renovation to the building itself, a physical renovation.
Yeah, talk about how it has been. I know you were just starting here, but obviously you're not new to the restaurant industry, and you certainly understand what's been going on in the restaurant industry. So talk about, what we're hoping is now post-COVID. We're not completely out of it, and of course, I always say this when we're interviewing for Backtalk, you and I aren't masked because we're sitting at a table, but Landana's is completely safe, still doing the social distant thing. Discuss that a little bit.
So we're doing what's right. We're going to keep to all the COVID restrictions until further notice, until we open up fully. Right now, 6 feet in between tables, following every protocol that we can. A mask are required within the restaurant until you're seated and have a cocktail. We are welcoming everyone indoors with those COVID restrictions and being as safe as we can. But we've also opened up the patio, and we also put our tent up for outdoor dining. So that's brand new to us. So again, welcoming in many different facets.
Yeah, and it gives you all of the benefits that Landana's has always given you.
Excellent. Definitely like to hear that.
Yeah.
Definitely like to hear that.
Absolutely. And Landana's is not open yet on Monday.
We're open from Tuesday until Sunday, but we've also added a few different features to go ahead and welcome people back. We're doing a $1 oyster night on Tuesdays. It's available at the bar and the lounge and outdoors. We're also doing a burger night on Wednesday nights.
Talk to eventing and, what the Commonwealth is saying about eventing and how that impacts you and what Landana's is doing with that.
Like before, we're going to be safe. We've already had events. They've been very successful. We're still doing the 6 feet rule within that for the events that we've hosted in the past couple months.
I will close by saying what I find so charming is that you consistently and continue to dedicate yourselves back to the community, which is something that speaks a lot about the group in general. So on behalf of the chamber, on behalf of the community, I'm a resident, on behalf of the residents, I'll say it that way, right? We want to thank you for that because that means a lot. It means a lot to have somebody who not only is here to capitalize on, who's coming in and having dinner, but also to give back to the group. So thank you for that.
That is certainly part of the general consensus of what we do as a company, and proud to do that here at Landana for Burlington and our surrounding area here too.
So you're going to make some pasta for us, the lobster.
Our homemade scongili pasta with lobster.
Yes.
We just dump the pasta here. So we're gonna start with some fresh lobster.
Okay.
It's very simple. So we get a hot pan, very simple. Sea salt.
Yeah.
And I have here lobster nash. This is our base. Then over here we get plates hot too. Okay, so this pasta I had a pre-blanch, so it should be ready now. The lobster is already hot. Okay, you just gotta get it hot. We do this. This is butter vermente. Then you take the pasta, drain the water. We also do a little pasta water. Okay, so when the plate is hot, lobster nash, then you can start plating this.
It's actually stunning.
So this is very simple. Lobster, pasta, and sauce, and we garnish it with some beautiful microgreens, fresh. In the microgreens we use micro basil, micro red amaranth, micro mustard. We mix it together. Beautiful. So now we're gonna move on to the grilled beef tenderloin. So we start with salt, pepper. Okay, so we place it on the grill. Now we're using wood grilled baby gem lettuce. So we wood grill it.
I have to say, when I come here, that's one of my favorite things on the plate. It's so simple, but it's so good.
Delicious.
Correct? Delicious. Absolutely.
Get some nice color on it.
Yes.
This is our gorgonzola crema, creme
Yeah.
fraiche. Finish it with parmesan, fresh
Yes.
parmesan. This is the baked potato, sea salt, like the steak. Then we finish it with soft garlic butter
Yes.
and pincotto.
It's a classic here. It really is. It's a classic at Landana's. Beautiful.
So now we're gonna plate it our seasonal strawberry crostata.
Okay.
It is strawberry and rhubarb
Yep.
tart. Okay. So first what we do is we get it hot.
So you have syrup on the bottom.
Yes. So we do a strawberry syrup. Do some powdered sugar. Homemade vanilla gelato.
I just gained 5 pounds, chef.
You did. We finish it with a rhubarb chip, some fresh mint.
And these, again, you have a pastry chef in-house, so these are made in-house. She does beautiful work.
Always.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. It is always great to be inside Landana's and see their beautiful wood-grilled steaks as well as their fresh-baked pastry and homemade pasta. Please join me and everybody else in Burlington as we welcome back Landana's and all the other restaurants in seeing post-COVID days. Thanks for joining me for Back Talk. I'm Sonia Rollins. All right. All right, so Lindana's. So please, everybody, please keep going to Lindana's. It's one of my favorite spots. That lobster pasta. I was saying while we were watching it together, right? It's like the butter that they put in there. You almost have to forgive yourself before you eat it, but you have to eat it. It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thank
I'm ready
you,
for
Linda.
lunch now.
That's right, exactly. So we're back. Mike, thank you for joining us again, Cambridge Savings Bank. I wanted to talk about, we talked about a little bit on the PPPs. We've talked about community service with the banking. And I've been asking a lot of people this now that we're, quote unquote, I don't want to jinx us coming out of COVID, right? What has COVID taught us, really? And it applies to every business one way or another. So if you could say, what has COVID taught the banking industry?
Sure.
Or Cambridge Savings Bank just in specific?
Sure, yeah. So I think that we're all happy to try to be getting back to some type of normalcy, and there's certainly things that occurred during COVID that we don't want to go back to. We had appointment banking, and we did have to close our doors for a little bit, although we stayed open for the vast majority of it. Yeah. But what I think we can take out of that time are the usage of our digital products. So we really encouraged customers when the doors were closed to use our mobile banking, where you can take a picture of your check and have it deposited that way. You can get your balance right through your phone or online. You can pay bills online. And some people that have initially been hesitant over the years to use the digital products or online banking found that they were essentially forced to during the pandemic.
Yes.
But once they used it, they realized how much they actually liked it, and it is very safe and secure. And rather than, if you're busy and you can't make it to the bank, well, guess what? You can pull out your phone and take a picture of your check, and it goes right into your account. I mean, I use that myself, even though I work at the bank.
Right, and it's pretty amazing.
It's very amazing.
I mean, really, I keep saying, I told you, my kids kind of tease me, and I consider myself an educated woman, but I was like, what do you mean you're taking a picture of your check? And they take a picture of their check. But it is pretty remarkable, all the different things. And talk about your ATMs, because there's, beyond using your phone, there's ATMs everywhere.
Yeah, so we have a network of ATMs, and also interspersed with some of the ATMs, including up at Cambridge Street, is what we call an ITM. So the ITM is an interactive teller machine, and that is basically a machine where you press the screen and an actual real live person from our contact center pops up and helps you with any banking need that you may have. The only thing you can't do through one of those interactive teller machines is get a bank check. Everything else you can do. You can cash checks, you can make deposits, you can make withdrawals, you can make changes to your accounts with, again, a real live Cambridge Savings Bank representative.
Yeah.
And even better, that machine does have extended hours. So it's opened from 8 to 6, Monday through Friday, whereas the branches are open 9 to 4. So you would have a little bit extra time to get to the bank if you needed to.
Right. Now, but speak to that. So the difference between, obviously there's a live person in front of you, but your other ATMs, you can still do all of the deposits and all of that thing. It's just there are certain ones where you can physically see a teller.
Absolutely, yeah. Our quote unquote regular ATMs still do all the deposit and withdrawals, and you can do balance transfers and get your balances and things like that. But the ITMs are really cool. That's another thing that I think people were a little hesitant to try out when our branches were open. Extended hours, or if somebody was there and the branch was open. Why would I go talk to a machine? Well, again, people were forced to when the doors were closed, and we found that people have really enjoyed it. And you actually get to know the people behind just like you would, a teller or a banker.
People.
You get to know the representatives on the ITM,
Right.
and they're great.
Yeah. What about drive-throughs, Mike? Is that a thing of the past? Burlington you have a drive-through teller up on 3rd Ave.
We do.
Because I've covered every gamut of how I can go but not go, right? But do you think that's a thing that will stay? I mean, when you're forecasting things like that for banks, I mean, we've established now that lobbies aren't going anywhere because there are certain people who still go in. We've established ATMs work. What about that whole drive-through theory? Yeah,
people still love to use the drive-through. The drive-through at 3rd Ave was quite busy when during the pandemic when the lobbies were closed. So the drive-through is an important channel that we provide to our customers if they do wish to use it. Honestly, we can't have a drive-through at every location just based on space, and
Sure.
I know that some towns just don't allow drive-throughs just due to regulations. But having the drive-through at 3rd Ave, it's an active drive-through. Even when our lobbies are open, folks still really enjoy using it.
Right. Okay, and let's talk about So there's the digital component, which we've covered, and all of the different things like that. But what about for small businesses? What about someone who's watching that maybe has a small business? Can they utilize all those services that you promote for, or a nonprofit? Let's use a nonprofit too. Like anybody who needs business out of their personal side. Is that all usable things within the digital side as well?
Yes, it is, and I'm glad you brought up small business because, as you know, May is Small Business Month, and we're just coming up to the end of celebrating Small Business Month with our customers. One really cool thing that we did is we established a landing page on our Cambridge Savings Bank website, and each branch spotlighted one of their small business customers, and our marketing team put together a really cool blurb on the landing page, as well as a link right to that small business's website. So it was, I think, fantastic free advertising, but also a way for us to give back during Small Business Month. You know, some banks run promotions on opening new accounts, but we wanted to say thank you and really do something nice, and we'll continue to rotate customers through that. So I thought that was really cool. But to answer your question, absolutely. We have a full suite of options for our small business customers, as well as our commercial customers to do online transactions such as wire transfers or ACH or any kind of cash management. We're fully able to help our small business customers and commercial customers with all those.
Yeah. Any business size that's not covered, Mike? Any business too small, too big?
No.
Yeah, so you really do cover the whole thing.
Yeah, small businesses will typically, up to about $1 million, will typically handle from a branch perspective.
Yeah.
So your local branch bankers will be able to handle those type of requests, so whether it's lending or accounts or anything. And then over $1 million, we do have a fantastic commercial team that handles the larger companies.
You have an investment team too, right? Am I saying that right? I feel like when I go on to the website to check my accounts. It's just that I physically go to the bank.
Yep.
And I always see these investment things on there. So you do have some investment opportunities too for people, correct?
We do. We partner with a company, a third party that provides investment services for our customers. It's called Connect Invest, and it's nice. It's all via phone or virtual. Yeah. So there's no real having to show up somewhere in person or anything like that. They can pick up the phone and speak to one of the advisors at any time, and it's a great service to be able to provide to our customers.
Great, and I'll cover this one more thing too, because I feel like it's a great opportunity for people to know that on the personal side, we talked about commercial lending both in the small and the big business capacity, but you also do residential lending. You do lending for people who are buying homes, condos, what have you. And that's been around for a long time. Can people walk into the branch to talk about that, or where would they go if they want to do that? Yeah,
definitely can either come into one of our branches or call our contact center. We love to see people such as yourself, Sonia, come into the branch. But so if someone wanted a mortgage, they would speak to one of our mortgage representatives. But on top of that, we've seen a lot of activity with home equity. So a lot of our customers are looking to do improvements to their homes, or maybe purchase a vacation home, and we do offer home equity line of credit products and home equity loans, and that's a very popular product as well. And we handle that right in the branch. Yeah,
and the corporate office for Cambridge Savings. How long has Cambridge Savings Bank been around? I mean,
so since 1834, over 187 years. We were our corporate headquarters was in Harvard Square for the vast majority of that time. But we recently built a brand new facility up on Wyman Street in Waltham, so you can see it when you're driving down 128.
But, nice. Yeah.
One of the very cool things about that is we have a series of lights that shine up on the building that we can change based on whatever's going on. So for instance, maybe Autism Awareness Month will shine up blue.
Oh, isn't that nice? That's fantastic. Yeah. All right, so we're wrapping up, and I want to I always ask people to kind of leave us with a thought on, Cambridge Savings Bank. If you were to want to give somebody a message about Cambridge Savings Bank, what would that message be?
Sure. Well, I think that we're a fantastic community bank. Obviously, even if I didn't work here, I would think the same thing. But just the longevity in the communities and the longevity of the folks that work here really says a lot about the type of place it is to work and bank. And I would say come see us, come pop into one of our branches, and I think that you'll be very happy with the service that you receive. And
remind people, you are on Cambridge Street.
We're on Cambridge Street in the New Simmons Park, and we're also on 3rd Ave. On Middlesex Turnpike. On
3rd Ave. And let's talk chamber for 1 second too, because I want to kind of always, again, thank you for being on the board, talk about the partnership of Cambridge Savings Bank and the Chamber, that you guys have been a great supporter of the Chamber for many years, and we appreciate that. But for people who don't know, before the Chamber was the Chamber, it was the Burlington now I have to think, the BBRT, the Burlington Business Roundtable, and Cambridge Savings Bank was on the board even then.
Wow.
So that goes right back to your commitment to community service and how you guys are always involved in the community, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be on the board, and I know that a few of our other Cambridge Savings Bank colleagues are on different committees and things like that. So very happy to be involved.
What are you looking most forward to? The taste coming back, I pray, or the black tie, or bingo, community service type things? If you could pick one thing pre-COVID that you want to go back to, we won't hold you to it, but.
I always have a fantastic time at the Taste. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of it's an actual, you know, it's an event that everyone looks forward to, but I really miss seeing my friends at the Council on Aging playing bingo once a month, and I really am looking
You're a
forward to
master
getting back to
bingo
that.
caller. Right?
Well, they taught me well, yes.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, Cambridge Savings Bank, please go see them. And I do want to say the lobbies are back to being open, correct?
We are
Because there was a
fully open.
time fully open, but plenty of sanitizer, all the good things that you need. I mean, that was probably a challenge, which is why the lobbies were closing. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so please go visit Cambridge Savings Bank, Cambridge Street, 3rd Avenue. Mike Torrielli, thank you for joining us here. And we'll hope for continued success for us all.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it, Sonia.
All right, folks, thank you so much. I hope everybody has a great spring, and we're coming into the summer months, so go Sox. We're
Go
still
Bruins.
doing go Bruins, that's right. And thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
For Backtalk, I'm Sonia Rollins.